So the number one muscle that we forget about exercising, the one thing we forget about training when it comes to trying to do a weight loss program is our brain. That's it, our brain. We tend to focus on a lot of what food that we need to eat, what exercise we need to train, how many times a week we need to train, and a lot of us have that all or nothing mentality as well. For example, at the start of the year, people are motivated, we want to get some results. Guess what? Just after 2 weeks, we fall off the wagon again. So there is something that's missing out there, and that one thing that's missing out there is mindfulness. So what we have to do is be able to work on that. And how do you do that? It's just like, doing a weight loss program where you do all the weightlifting and the HIIT training and whatnot. You can actually still train your brain as well. And there's a lot of different ways of doing mindfulness. There's so much information out there on the internet as well. But I've used this personally on my own programs, and this has helped me a lot to get good results and consistent results. That's where the missing link is. A lot of us tend to get good results, but then we just keep falling off the wagon, and all sorts of excuses just keep piling on. So just to give you a simple example of mindfulness, say eating at night, or just eating out of boredom in the evening. We just tend to go to the kitchen. I tend to go to the kitchen and I just look for whatever's out there and what's the worst thing I can eat right now, just out of boredom, and you just tend to pick on that. So this is just a behavior pattern that you can pick up on. So right now, if you look at, you're already aware of what I'm talking about. You're already aware of your bad habits. But how do we change these bad habits? Is simply using mindfulness of just being aware. There's a few different steps to this. Bring awareness to what you're currently doing, your patterns. And then the second step is to identify why you're doing that. Yeah, is it eating out of boredom, eating out of lack of options of what to eat, things like that. And the third one is to create an action plan on how you're going to resolve that problem, that issue rather. So for example, in the case of say me going in the evening and eating in the kitchen, just eating crisps and whatnot, what I can do is just create mindfulness and just be aware of what I'm eating in the evening. So, and you don't have to be hard on yourself. A lot of us just tend to just keep putting ourselves down about what we're doing. So the way this works is you just have to be aware of what you're doing. That's it. Just be aware that you're eating at night. That's it. And the second step is you want to identify, why am I doing this? Yeah, just almost looking at it from a third person's perspective. Why am I constantly eating in the evening out of boredom? And then the next step is to change that habit. Use that little bit of willpower that you have and turn that into a habit. And then that's what becomes into a lifelong assistance to getting those results that you want and keeping those results that you achieve. So for example, if I'm eating something like unhealthy crisps in the evening, what I can do is either change that into, every time I go to pick the crisp up, I can leave an apple and a dark chocolate right next to it, some handful of nuts, a little Tupperware of nuts right next to it. So what I will do is every time I would go to make the choice of picking the crisps, I would see the nuts first, and I would, you might have the days where you still go for the crisps, but just keep practicing that mindfulness, and before you know it, you're going to actually go for the healthier option. And also just stopping, just before you're about to, grab onto the crisps, just stopping and just being aware of what you're about to do. And then guess what? You're actually eventually going to go for the right option. And it does work. I've been doing this for a long time now. And, I'm just constantly analyzing the different bad habits that I do throughout the day. And just using awareness, and it might take a bit of time. We all have different strengths in our brain, if you will. So just using that, it might take a week, a few days, sometimes more than a week. And just using that awareness, that's going to make a lot of change throughout your behavior patterns. And that's one of the biggest things that you need to work on when it comes to achieving long-term results. So hope you apply it. By all means, you can get in touch with me and let me know what are your triggers, what are those habits that you really want to work on, and then we can set an action plan together for it as well. Hope that helps.